Jack Draper news, ranking, results and next match on Sky Sports Tennis as British number 1 looks to impress in 2025. Jack Draper won first Masters 1000 title at Indian Wells, but has suffered early eliminations in Miami and Monte Carlo since. British number 1 claimed 2 ATP Tour titles last year and reached US Open semifinals. Watch Draper throughout 2025 live on Sky Sports. Jack Draper's stock continues to rise, with the British number 1 leaping to 6th in the world rankings and claiming a maiden Masters 1000 title at Indian Wells. The left-hander beat Carlos Alcaraz and Taylor Fritz en route to that trophy in California, the biggest of his career to date. He has been thus unable to secure a second tournament win of 2025, failing to complete the Sunshine Double at the Miami Open before exiting in the last 16 of the Monte Carlo Masters. He has booked his spot in the quarterfinals of the Madrid Open, though, with a 6-2, 6-2 win over Tommy Paul on Wednesday, and the 23-year-old is now the top seed remaining in the tournament after Alexander Zverev and Fritz were both knocked out. Match sure you catch Draper in action on Sky Sports throughout the year, including at the US Open during August and September, an event at which he reached the semifinals in 2024. When is Draper next in action on Sky Sports? The clay court season continues at the Mutua Madrid Open, where Draper has booked his spot in the quarterfinals. The Brit faces Italy's Matteo Arnaldi in the last 8 on Thursday, live on Sky Sports Tennis. Draper started as 5th seed and received a bye to the second round. He began his tournament against Dutchman Talon Griekspoor, winning 6-3, 6-4 in a comprehensive straight sets performance. He then got past Italy's Matteo Berrettini in the last 32 after the latter's injury retirement. Draper is also expected to feature in Rome from May 7th ahead of the French Open from May 25th to June 8th. He is also confirmed to compete at Queen's in June before Wimbledon runs from June 30th to July 15th. He will then return to Flushing Meadows, live on Sky Sports, for the US Open from August 24th to September 7th, so far in 2025. Draper won his first ATP Masters 1000 title when he overwhelmed Holger Rune in the Indian Wells final, beating him 6-2, 6-2. That came after a 6-1-0 to 6-6-4 victory over two-time reigning champion Alcaraz in the semis, while his run also included victories over Brazil's rising star João Fonseca, Fritz, and Ben Shelton. Jack Draper's ATP Tour results in 2025. Tournament surface result. Australian Open hard 4th round. Doha hard runner-up. Indian Wells hard winner. Miami hard 2nd round. Monte Carlo clay last 16. In Miami, though, Draper was beaten 7-6, 7-2, 7-6, 7-3 by teenage Czech Jakub Mensik as his opponent nailed 21 aces. A 3-set defeat to Spain's Alejandro Davidovich Fokina ended Draper's first tournament of the clay court season as his Monte Carlo Masters campaign came to a halt at the last 16 stage. Draper was beaten by Andrei Rublev in the final of the Qatar Open in mid-February after retiring hurt against Alcaraz in the last 16 at the Australian Open in January, having seen his start to the season delayed by a hip problem. What did Draper achieve in 2024? After suffering a second defeat in as many ATP finals in January, his loss to Jiri Lehecka in the Adelaide International following on from falling short against Adrian Mannarino in Sofia the previous November, Draper won his next 2 ATP finals in 2024, on the grass in Stuttgart and then the indoor hard court in Vienna. The Sudden-born player came from a set down to beat Berrettini in Germany in June to claim his maiden ATP 250 title and upgraded that to an ATP 500 trophy 4 months later, when he defeated Karen Khachanov in straight sets in Austria. Jack Draper's best Grand Slam results. Australian Open R4, 2025. French Open, R1, 2023, 2024. Wimbledon, R2, 2022, 2024. US Open semifinals, 2024. Other notable match wins included defeating Alcaraz at Queen's and Alex de Minaur at the US Open, while he also recorded 2 victories over another pair of top 10 players in Hubert Hurkacz in Japan and Fritz in Paris. He battled gamely against world number 1 Jannik Sinner before going down in 3 sets in the US Open semifinals, with that run to the last four keeping him in with a chance of reaching the season-ending ADP Tour Finals before those hopes were extinguished by defeat to de Minaur in the last 16 in Paris. Draper will also be disappointed to have lost in the second round at Wimbledon, beaten by compatriot Cameron Norrie, and perhaps that he was unable to back up his win over Alcaraz at Queen's, falling to Tommy Paul in the next round.